things about Z2. Pretty cool game.
It exists, and people play it.
People play it.
Yep. It's a good game.
What's his face? Made a Dig Shake. Made this randomizer thing. Moves all the items into weird places.
Yeah, and you like.
That's the best introduction ever, guys. Yeah, welcome back for another Zelda 2 randomizer tournament challenge. Right now we are doing some on-the-fly cropping, so I'm going to leave it to my two buddies that decided to stick around and hang out for this next race. So without further ado, I will pass it on to them, get this cropping finished, and start this race. Have a good one, guys.
Well, thank you very much, Jinxie. My name is Jackamus. I am joined tonight by the winner of the previous race, Chromaticalism.
Hey. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So
Good.
Somewhere between like 7 and 8 out of 10. Might be a little higher, but you beat me earlier, so that's a bit of a downer, I have to say.
It happens.
It certainly does.
Definitely have opportunities in the future to get me back.
Sounds good, bud. But that race is done and over with, and we got a pretty interesting one lined up here. We got AmazingToaster versus Levelengine.
Yeah, I expect to see some really intense competition here, some very fast and very effective and efficient gameplay. Both of these players are excellent in the skills department of the game and know the randomizer really well, consistently get great times. I think we have a really good race coming.
I'm just here for the wall skeletons. Well, quite the lovely start here with swamp all over the place. Looks like Toast has found a quick pass-through cave, and electing not to go through it. We've got Death Mountain for Levelengine, and now we have Medicine Cave for AmazingToaster.
We'll see if we get our first item, or if it's a key bag or something else disappointing.
Well, there's not too many things that are straight-up disappointing this early on. Even experience points are great. These early levels.
It's always nice to see one of those items that you know you're going to use right away, though, like the glove or the magic key. Lots of gorillas today in the Medicine Cave.
Boomerangs everywhere. It's a kid.
What the hell is that kid doing in the back of that cave?
Well, obviously his parents told him not to go playing in strange places.
And he's learned the lesson the hard way. Unfortunate. If he had stayed out just a little while longer, maybe he would have been able to discover his escape and gain some survival skill and experience from the process. And now he's just going to rely on his parents all the more. He's resisting the opportunity to grow up by having us rescue him. Sorry, I went kind of Kant there for a minute.
That's okay. Sometimes it's important to muse about the finer things in life. Already we can see a slight difference just in how they exit the Northern Palace. Hot tip, it is 4 frames faster to exit going left as you see Levelengine do.
And that's going to make all the difference in this race where both players are extremely accomplished and they're more or less taking the same routes here. We're seeing peaks of Death Mountain.
Yeah, we've got 2 Death Mountain caves already. So both entrances have been found. The boulder's nice and easy to get to, for a change. Nothing wrong with that.
Agreed, but let's hope it's not foreshadowing and we're gonna have to experience some deep dives to come. Got a hint from King's Tomb. Karak item is a heart.
Yeah, and both players have that in complete sync. Although now they've split up a little bit. Finding Jump Cave was Levelengine. Not really going to try to go through that.
And won't be able to. Plus, it's also the longest pass-through cave in the game. So you want to find a different route if you can.
Palaces. All the palaces in the western side of the world. Just sitting right there.
Wow. That was
Fishing
one.
for hints is AmazingToaster. Error knows nothing. We've got a 3 and or 6. We've got a 4. We have some knowing nothing.
Those who withhold information early.
There's the back end of Lifetown, which Toaster now finds. Levelengine's going to wander right into Jump Town as well. 3 and or 6 for Toast.
When you don't get hints in those early towns, you increase your chances of getting really useless hints on the eastern continent later. Not always, but
You never know. Rando gonna rando. Looks like Palace 1, 4, as well as 3 or 6. Sitting right there. Right there by the raft dock, too, looks like.
so a lot of our landmarks covered then. It's mostly just going to be the exploration for the item caves. See if we can prepare for some dives into the palaces and maybe some inaccessible areas in the east.
Still lots to be seen. Not a whole lot doing so far early on here.
Yeah, large forest and swamplands. We haven't really had the picturesque quite yet in the maps.
We're in Ghetto Hyrule tonight for this race, looks like.
There's one.
Well, we've got Trophy Cave for Levelengine.
Stabbing the frog in the face while it hovers over the lava and floats in midair. Always fun to see.
Well,
700
there's a
point
nice chunk of
B-Dag.
change.
So that's a sign of things to come. We get some of those in the drop pool. Should have some pretty efficient leveling.
Well, being choosy with the levels early on is Levelengine, electing to go 3-1-3.
Not a bad option. It's always easy to invest in the early levels for magic and life. If you need to, if you find that you need magic for casting fairy or jump, it's pretty easy to get enough levels to get that going. And getting that attack power high really helps. I think 4 is that first really sweet landmark to hit for attack power.
Definitely is. Attack power is nice to have, for sure. But I would argue that all the stats are nice to have in a randomizer. You never know what kind of enemies are lurking ahead of you, and sometimes that extra defense from life is very important.
Agreed.
Sometimes one level of magic makes all the difference between a ludicrously expensive uncastable spell to it's dirt cheap now.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So what you're saying is that all things that you receive in this game are good.
Amazing, I know, but it's the truth. Toast electing to balance his levels out a little bit more here. Gonna go for a 3-3-3. Nice setup for some of the earlier game here at the very least. We've got Shield Town for Levelengine and an old woman who knows nothing.
Nor does our friend Error or his doppelganger.
Levelengine is going to learn the ways of magics by casting a spell known as Spell.
These are secrets that are guarded for millennia, and he's unlocked them simply by being in the right place at the right time.
Levelengine is going to continue exploring so close to that tantalizing attack level 4, only needs 10 experience points. Oh, we have the proper side of Lifetown. Go east for the magical key is the hint.
Nice hint to get. You know that narrows it down to just a few places that you can check, where once you have that item, you can really start exploring dungeons. The magic key plus the glove basically gives you access to everything you need in the dungeons, with a few exceptions where fairy might be required. That's a great hint to get.
Magic key is a very useful item. The shield spell has its place, but it's not really going to unlock any progression for Levelengine here. Pardon me one moment, I shall be right back.
No problem. I believe our commentary is aligning with dinner time. Jackamus unfortunately did not order anything for me. I will occasionally be munching on grapes, and I apologize if any of that makes it through the microphone. So AmazingToaster is exploring these forest tiles a little more, possibly trying to give himself options for how to traverse the north and south. We have 1-ups in the drop pool. That can come in pretty handy. Thanks, Jinxie, for the shout-out in the chat. Jinxie's doing a fantastic job as a restreamer as well, and we also have Light behind the scenes doing tracking. Community really coming together well today to put on some good races. So up in this corner here, we've got one of the item caves. And we'll see if this gives us any more of a hint for what's to come.
Well, we'll not have to wait too long because it's just across.
That's too bad. But also, again, everything gives you something of an advantage later on. We see a lot of those MOAs in the random encounters. That can be a huge help to avoid random, frustrating game overs. Especially if we have an early trip over to the east with lower levels.
It looks like Hyrule's city planner was on some sort of drugs. There's some weird thing going on with bridges here.
You know, I'm glad you're taking it to the administration, because I'm pretty sure that the employees get their work order, they do the job, they do the best job they can, but they're just, you know, doing what they're told.
Well, amongst the mess of bridges, we did find a Stonehenge with a nice shiny red heart.
Levelengine savagely consumes the heart. Teeth stained red with the blood. He's found a deeper sense of inner strength. And his HP goes up. The numbers go higher. That's what happens.
Bigger numbers are better. Unless you're
Bigger
playing
numbers
golf.
are why we do this. We like seeing the timer numbers go down and the points numbers go up.
Quite. There's another heart container for Toasty. Looks like Levelengine has pretty much figured out that Death Mountain is probably required to get much of anywhere right now. We've seen a pretty good amount of the Western continent, including all 3 palaces. And I think we've been inside 3 item caves, and if I'm not mistaken, 2 more were blocked by not having the hammer.
Well, these Death Mountain plunges are always anybody's guess how soon you're going to find that item cave. And it's so satisfying when you do, but you have to sort through so many rooms that look exactly the same and hope you don't have to cross through them multiple times.
It's can definitely be hard to tell what is what inside Death Mountain. After you've played a few of these, you kind of get a feel for which type of cave at least you're in, just from looking at what the screen looks like when you walk in, but unless you're really trying hard to count all the different entrances, you're probably going to go back and forth a few times before you find where you need to go. So right now, we've got pretty much completely identical progression between the 2, only difference being levels. Toast at 334 and Levelengine at 413, both of them looking for the elusive Hammer Cave, which, as soon as I say it, Levelengine walks into, so this item is guaranteed progress.
Spoke it into existence. There's a lot of magic around today. So let's see what we're gonna pull out of Death Mountain today, and if it's a hammer, we've got a lot more options to us. Another thing we might want to see is a raft to open up some more exploration in the east. And I suppose another option, well, no, it wouldn't be. I was gonna say in a seed that a magic key here could open up the dungeons for exploration as well, and some potential items, but we've already gotten the hint that that's in the east.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, it could still be trophy or medicine leading to a fairy spell.
That is true as well.
No, it's the raft.
Levelengine gets right out of there, up an A, goes back to start so he can quickly access the raft tile and head to the eastern continent.
So Levelengine definitely out in front right now. See if Levelengine can capitalize on this early lead.
AmazingToaster is in one of those rooms that has a similar structure to some of that big Death Mountain cave, but unfortunately it's not. It's just one of those 4-way caves. Still exploring, still looking for the item cave.
All you can do, going inside of caves until you find the right one.
And we have our first palace appearing on the eastern continent.
Well, good news for Toaster, there's the Hammer Cave. So Toast is going to get that raft before too long. Levelengine has discovered Great Palace location, and also Valley of Death right next to it for another palace.
Hopefully you can save that one for last, take them both out in the same trip.
That would be the efficient way, but we'll see if the seed allows it or not. Glove's still at large, at the very least.
Foregoing battling the Lizalfos at this point, and putting the priority more on the exploration, see what we can acquire quickly. And with the level 4 attack, there's going to be plenty more opportunities still to get those levels sorted, so no need to grind it out. Looks like that pass-through cave might be the only option for Levelengine to continue progression on
Yeah,
the
I think you might be right there. It's just a very large desert, Great Palace, and Valley of Death.
Until we have boots. Oh, and that's hard to deal with. Low levels, you get the blue Lizalfos. But we got the shield spell. With some careful maneuvering, this will work fine.
Just gonna have to eat a few hits to get past him. There it goes. Oh, and there's another one. Oh,
Double.
My.
So either the option is... Oh, they are invincible, Jake Hooper's confirming. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's that's not a pleasant cave to have to get through. Ooh, and Levelengine runs out of lives there. Well, should be interesting to see what happens. That might be the only road of progression in the east, and Levelengine is not able to get through there.
Well, it happens, and if it was going to be a case where we needed to get a little more grinding out, it's not the worst thing in the world to just sort of reset. Toaster is going to do his exploration of the eastern continent and find some of the same things. He has a slight advantage with some of those levels, though, and is already starting to grind away at some of the Lizzies here.
Quite a lot of hits for not a lot of points.
Yeah.
Sadly happens quite a bit, though.
Yeah, it does, and attack level 3 is still pretty early in the pool of damage that you will be doing in the seed, so we'll see that
eventually
go down
will get better, yes. But no amount of attack level on Earth is going to help you against those blue Lizalfos. They are sword immune on this side.
Playing the iframes and the careful jumps.
Yeah. Well, Toast is exploring the large desert on the eastern continent. Gonna get brick wall pretty soon, though, and yeah, it's gonna be that pass-through cave.
The Levelengine now is taking the time to kill a few enemies, possibly try to get that life 4 and see if that's the difference maker. And it probably should be, I think, if you can get through the first one in 3 hits or so, and the second one in 1, might be able to safely get through that cave.
The extra defense can't hurt, at the very least. Gonna give it another try here now. Shield spell up. Definitely taking less damage than before. Should be able to survive 4 hits. Maybe not a 5th here. Be pretty dicey.
It should be okay.
No, can barely survive a 5th. Oh, nice
well
jump.
Done, well done.
And Levelengine makes it through.
I didn't notice
Quickly
in this
to the
case...
nearby palace to take an up and A to restore all the resources.
Good move there.
Yeah.
I didn't see, sometimes the projectiles are a different damage amount than hitting the enemy itself. And maybe that's some of what the strategy was here.
Well, there's Fairy in Thundertown for Levelengine on the other side of the cave, so that's going to open up half of the palaces that we have access to right now.
I need to start taking a few magic levels to make that a little more viable, though.
Yeah. Well, Toast is now discovering the Cave of Horrors. Got pretty far on his first go for not expecting 2 blue Lizalfos there, so we'll see how Toast goes about it now. Looks like a shield spell is already up for Toast.
Ooh, through in 2.
Yeah, I think Toast is going to get through here. Took 4 hits, but we know he can survive 5. So Toast, not too far behind Levelengine now, is going to make it into Thundertown and pick up his fairy spell. So it's a much closer race than it was there. AmazingToaster's decision to take life levels early definitely paying off and getting him caught up in this race.
We're in an item cave for Levelengine. It's the boots. So I imagine now we may not have to go through that cave anymore. Might just be able to walk right around it.
Oh no, did Toast just soft lock?
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, it's not something a lot of people are aware that can happen, but in that town, if you accidentally read the sign and get killed by the enemy, the game soft locks and you're forced to reset.
I had no idea. I was only aware of the level up on the frame that you cross into the screen transitions. That's sad to see. He was really had some momentum going his way there.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of towns up here in this section, and a lot more deserts. So
oh no, Toast doesn't have the raft.
Oh,
he's gone so far back he doesn't have the raft anymore.
Oh, that is so sad. You hate to see that happen. This is as close as we get to like injuries during the game. You know? That's so rough. So big setback there, and you can only hope that Levelengine has some kind of mental slip or planning error, or just poor luck or something.
Yeah, looks like Hammer's in 5 again in this seed also, if I read that hint correctly.
So we had Glove in 5.
Or not Glove, sorry. Hammer in 5. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm just disappointed in what happened to Toast there, I guess.
It's rough. We're in mourning. Not to minimize the experience of anyone legitimately in mourning, these are difficult times. I'm sorry if you're going through tough stuff. Anyway, I'm considering those desert tiles in the east more to be beach than anything else. There's enough water around. I'm thinking of it that way.
Well, Toast quickly back into the Hammer Cave, so Raft will be forthcoming for Toast yet again very soon. Levelengine, meanwhile, exploring Spelltown, with the spell in hand, mind you. And we've discovered the most powerful of magics. Levelengine's pauses were pretty quick there, but it looked like his spell cost 83, and yeah, he's heading the opposite direction, so Magic 2 not gonna cut it with just those 4 containers here.
Well, XP to Magic 3 is not terribly high, so that's an option. Keep the exploration going and get the magic levels when you can. Another heart in the desert tile there.
back over to the east. And Toast knows exactly where to go, at least insofar as getting through this cave. There's the bridge to Maze Island for Levelengine, and the palace is right there. It is Palace 3 or 6. And Levelengine is, of course, going to have a look around for the 2 free items just laying on the ground here.
Glove would be huge. Magic Key would be huge right now as well.
Fairy spell for Toast. Nothing yet on Maze Island. Well, we can confirm that it is Palace 2 right outside of that pass-through cave now. Toast checked the statue, it drops a red jar, you know it's Palace 2, based on the totem. And Toast has found the first of 2 item caves on the east. I believe this is where Levelengine picked up the boots.
I think you're correct. I think this is the Boots Cave, yep.
Levelengine caught in a rough spot between 2 Lizalfos. It's gonna clear the screen all the same. Continue looking for items on Maze Island. Here's one of them, it's the medicine. We know that that's not required at this point because all the 3 quote-unquote mandatory spells were available just as is.
Yeah, so if there's a convenient opportunity to go and turn that in, it could lead to something useful, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see those getting turned in this seed, unless we haven't gotten down stab yet.
Exactly.
So maybe take them out both at the same time.
Yet, so you decide, I'll take the 15 seconds to see what spell it is. Maybe it's a cheap life spell, or maybe it's a fire spell linked to something useful.
Yeah. That life spell can really make a difference. I think what Levelengine did with his leveling here may have been inspired pretty heavily by that pass-through cave. He's made it through quite a while on that first life there with his level 5 life meter.
Yeah, doesn't want to end up in a situation like that again. But still, you might have to go through that cave a few times. Like, the mountains were looking awful close to the water at the far side of the eastern continent, so that pass-through cave might be forced every time you head over here.
Sure hope not. So it looks like we're headed toward the lower...
Spell and has picked up the thunder spell.
Very nice. The Levelengine did just pass through that middle area of the eastern continent on the right side down to the lower part. So if they want to avoid that cave completely, they can. But it may be faster later on. We'll see where the exploration takes them.
It is only one screen. I guess it really depends on where you want to go on the eastern side. I mean, if you're looking to get back to Maze Island, you're definitely going to take the long way around with the boots. But if you're wanting to go to, say, Palace 2, it's probably much faster to go through the cave.
Go through the cave.
Right there. Bit of a high five between both of our runners wandering through that graveyard next to Maze Island. And Toast is going to start searching on Maze Island for other items. We've finally spotted a river devil over on Leveligine's side. Is it doing anything useful today? No, it is not.
What would you say the percentage is that it is doing something, like, that it is doing its job in the randomizer?
I'd put it at about 5%. Usually it's just blocking something to nowhere. Sometimes it is actually blocking a path, but there's a pass-through cave around it. So it's not too often that I've seen seeds where the river devil is actually actively in your way.
I'm gonna give the river devil some benefit of the doubt and say that pass-through caves are pretty inconvenient most of the time to keep track of. And passing the river devil is often more about convenience than it is about necessity. But I think you may be right that 5% there is no other way to get past what the river devil is blocking than to go through him.
I made it a tough estimate to decide to take the over or the under on. That's all I can say about that.
And I think you've said it right. What are the odds? And, yeah, gotta figure out how much I'm betting here.
Well, there's Water of Life for Toaster. That's one of the 2 items on Maze Island down. Levelengine has found the other item cave over on East. I'm gonna head to the back of here.
This could be our magic key. Or it could be...
Those blue Lizalfos are
it's
everywhere.
A pea bag.
It's a pea bag, and as a fairy,
Yeah,
Levelengine can't even reap that tiny reward. Toast's back to the start there. I'm starting to wonder what our racers are going to do here. I mean, they both have fairy in tow. You have to think that at some point they have to start looking inside dungeons for some of the more important items. Especially when all we're finding is lots of tiny little pea bags everywhere.
I'm afraid you may be right. And we had, I believe it was 2 caves that you saw on the western continent blocked by boulders. So a hammer could unlock some things as well.
It definitely could, wherever it may be. At this point, I think we can say with relative certainty that the magic key is inside of Spelltown, behind the old lady that wants magic jars.
I believe you're correct. We saw both caves, we saw the desert tile, we saw the water tile, and we saw the 2 Maze Island tiles, so with the hint that it's in the east, that leaves our 2 New Kasuto locations as possible locations for the magic key.
Yeah, either or, it's definitely there.
So we've got an entrance to a palace here. I think we're deciding which one to do the first dive into.
Well, Levelengine's heading into Palace 1. Obviously, a wise place to start. Toaster's gonna pick up the downstab. I can definitely defend going straight there to pick that up. Give you a little bit of edge in combat, and there are times where downstab is required. See what the bonus spell is? It's the life spell.
That comes in handy.
It certainly does. I think that's worth going just 30 dozen seconds out of the way to pick up.
I agree completely.
Definitely makes the looming trek through the Great Palace a lot more manageable at the very least.
Levelengine continuing the dive into level 1, And looks like we might be approaching an item room pretty soon here. We've seen a lot of the rooms to the left, maybe at the end of this corridor.
Chances are entirely reasonable. I mean, there's only 12 rooms inside Palace 1, so it's never big or daunting to get through.
Good one to be able to have available when you start deciding to go through the levels.
Meanwhile, looks like Toast is going to have a peek inside 3 or 6. We'll find out which one it is very soon. Well, I don't see infinitely respawning enemies in that room, so this should be Palace 6 that Toaster's gone into. No, it's 3. My mistake. Because there was no mini-boss for the item. It's a magic jar.
And I believe New Kasuto required 6 magic jars to access the item.
And with that extra jar, Toaster would definitely be able to cast the spell even at Magic 3. It was 83 points, if I recall correctly. Toast may be pushing his luck a little bit here, trying to find a quick boss in Palace 3. There's 2 potential rooms that can be blocked by the glove in. But I can understand Toaster being a little desperate at this point after that unfortunate soft lock, as Levelengine makes quick work of Horsehead and places their first gem.
It's tricky. If you already know that you're up against a great player who's going to make the right plays, you might decide, I'm going to take a couple of risks and see if it pays off, because you feel like maybe, like, head-to-head, if we were even, it'd be one thing. But I think total, how much time did we lose on the soft lock? I think it was only a few.
It could have been a lot worse for sure, but it was still a good 5 minutes or so. We've got Levelengine into 4 now, and Toaster is inside Palace 1.
Up some keys along the way. It's always nice knowing you're not going to have to use up all of your magic on that next fairy spell.
Definitely helpful. I mean, neither of our players have picked up that magic key yet, though for Toast at least, should be able to get it whenever returning to Spelltown. Palace 4 for Levelengine, not playing too nice so far. Couple of dead ends. So where do you go next from here? Let's find out after Levelengine takes up an A.
Oh yeah, Fairy did get nice and cheap.
Barely 2 containers to cast it.
Another dead end.
Gonna head right back to the start. Maybe Levelengine thinks that they found a loop or something.
Well, certainly something that's not going to lead to Karak.
Well, here's Horsehead for AmazingToaster. Horsehead having a little bit higher starting health than usual, but it's not going to make too much of a difference with that nice beefy attack level 4. So Toast is going to place his first gem only a few minutes behind Levelengine.
And with 1 down, and the glove still at large, we should be seeing some more Palace dives, potentially a trek to New Kasuto.
Well, Toast heading back into 1, found the boss, but not the item. Gonna have a little look-see for that glove. Would definitely be the item to find here.
Will take some time to get through level 1 to find the item. If I recall, it was had to go left a lot of times before turning anything up in here. Those doom knockers, man. They're really annoying sometimes.
Nobody likes those enemies, let's be honest.
There's a character in the movie Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, played by Mark Hamill, whose name I will not repeat on stream. And that's the one I think of every time I see doom knockers.
I see.
Look it up.
Well, there's a little bit more magic for Toaster in Palace 1. And on to the raft, Toast goes. Bear in mind, Toast does not have that reflect spell yet, so couldn't really justify going into Palace 4 just yet.
AmazingToaster just discovered that both sides of that eastern continent are accessible through the water. So both the left and the right side are quick passages to the middle section.
It'll definitely make navigation a lot easier. The wall knows nothing.
As it should.
I think the wall was just, happy to be given some attention. Must be
That's fair.
Just being a wall.
And I think I understand why the knowledge base of the wall is somewhat diminished.
The wall really doesn't get out much.
That is correct, Trails. We did find out that Hammer is in Palace 5. We did get that hint. Thanks for bringing that up.
Hammer in Palace 5 might be the play, because Hammer unlocks at least 2 more items back on the west. He forced Palace 5 to get the hammer to get the glove.
I don't believe we've seen Palace 5 yet, have we?
It should be in the Valley of Death by process of elimination.
And that's pretty accessible too. It's just right there after you take the raft over, isn't it?
Well, there is gem number 2 for Levelengine.
We've got a fire spell.
Fire spell from the kid.
Very cheap.
Gonna try it out, see what it does. Well,
so far fire.
That little kid knows nothing. Should have paid more attention in school.
Kids are actually not that knowledgeable about things, generally. Just an observation. I'm a parent, I get it. Children are amazing and intelligent and they surprise you all the time, but compared to adults, they're just not as smart.
I don't know, some adults try really, really hard to prove the opposite.
That is a fair point.
Well, there's a magic jar for Levelengine.
Now with 6 himself, he has the option of taking the new Kasuto items.
Yeah, definitely. Levelengine not gonna push his luck any further inside Palace 3.
I will acknowledge Zero Wing's observation given by Socrates that a wise man knows nothing. I'm amazed every day at the things I don't know. And I'm sure that's, like, right along those lines as well. I know some things. There's so many things I don't know. But children are dumb. I love them. I'm sorry, I'm done. Let's get back to Zelda.
Okay. And I
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Random tangents.
I'm in a mood and I'm just writing it.
Fair enough. Well, Leveligine's gonna head into Valley of Death. We know that this is Palace 5. So this is where the hammer is, which might lead to the glove. Palace 5, definitely the biggest of the 6 palaces. I believe there's 32 possible rooms in Palace 5.
Ugh. Palace 5 is one of the reasons I try to keep randomizer seeds to 1 a day or less.
It's definitely one of the less pleasant places to be in Zelda 2. Well, Levelengine is starting to get somewhat deep into 5. We'll have to see how things pan out from here. Coast still wandering around on the northern part of the eastern continent.
Well, looks like chat has confirmed for us that fire is linked to life.
Well, that's certainly useful. Get a even cheaper life spell.
Toaster confirmed it, not chat, yes. We missed it. Toaster did it. Lemon Kitsune saw it. Now we all know.
Well, there's the hammer for Levelengine. Surprisingly painless to get. I guess if you keep following the meta of heading left, you'll find it within about 10 rooms, looks like.
Not too bad, honestly. And now we head right.
Well, Toaster's found Firetown, so this is going to be a reflect spell for Toaster momentarily.
And here's where the fairy spell is starting to manifest its weaknesses compared to the magic key. Levelengine has to take the death to refill the magic bar and proceed.
Yeah, even with that affordable fairy spell, it's not infinite like the key is. Well, Leveligine's found a dead-end room, but I guess wasn't able to identify it as such.
Maybe purposely going for the magic jar drop.
Yeah, maybe. It was only down 2 containers, though.
Well, that could be the difference. So it's a little more than 2 for 1 cast.
No,
so you'd have...
It's 32 MP.
Oh, it is 32. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 1 more fairy cast then.
Well, Toast has headed to Spelltown. So this is a potentially big moment of truth here. We know one of these 2 items is the magic key, but is the other one the glove? That could be exactly what Toast needs to get back in this thing. There's the key. Now I guess we'll just have to wait and see what's at the back of the town.
Moment of palpable tension could make the difference in the race. Levelengine with hammer may be thinking about going and digging out some of those other item rooms as the next step rather than going to New Pseudo, so we may see a big divide here.
They're definitely on opposite paths. Look at that Goomba right at the start of Palace 5.
Nice.
After getting in pretty deep looking for that hammer, now Gooma's just right there. And
Gooma's
it's just
a
a magic
tank.
container inside of Spelltown.
So it looks like hammer is the advantage.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way.
Finally starting to chip away at Guma's life bar there. Really efficient fighting for Levelengine.
Yeah, trying to be as aggressive as possible despite that low attack.
Ooh, I'd cast fire myself here.
Okay.
Very well done.
Levelengine got it. Yeah. Well, what was Levelengine gonna do? Levelengine doesn't have fire or life.
Oh, it doesn't have fire life. Wow.
Yeah. Well, Toaster's off to, I believe this one was Palace 6.
Levelengine has no need for fire or life.
But sometimes all else fails. And yeah, going to Palace 6 for Toaster here is, this is pretty much a make or break play. Because the glove could still be here in 6. That might be Toast's only hope to get back into the race at this point.
Well, let's hope for his sake we'll certainly have a tighter match if that's the find here, but no, the glove is in Spectacle Rock, and Levelengine picks it up and gains the distinct advantage.
Yeah, both in terms of gems placed and required progression items. Levelengine is basically just on a boss rush at this point.
Digging out a hammer cave here gets the trophy, so all spells accessible if he chooses to dig one or two out.
I'm kind of curious about that. I'm not really sure what Levelengine was thinking in going in there. I mean, Levelengine has everything needed to finish the seed at this point. So I'm kind of wondering if there was maybe some concern over life or magic levels, maybe? Just looking to grab another container for safety or something, maybe?
Could be. Nursing old wounds. There were a few moments where having the high life level was nice. Did we see what Thunder caught?
Running into a brick wall there. No glove, no love.
Maybe a while yet before we see that glove for AmazingToaster.
It's buried pretty deep in the seed. You have to go relatively far into 5 to get that hammer, and then back to Spectacle Rock to get the glove. Another dead end for Toast inside Palace 6.
Oh, we're meeting up in the same place again, both players close to start. Devising the next play.
Well, Levelengine's firmly on go, go, go. So, should be heading back to Palace 3 to finish that out. Just to start off with, at least.
And then does that take care of the west? I can't remember. What are the... Okay, we've got 4. What are the other palaces we had here? Oh, we're getting spells. Or are we still looking for downstab?
That might be the case, actually, yeah. Because Levelengine hasn't picked that up yet.
So can pick up downstab and go ahead and pick up the spell there as well. But getting a level done while we're here.
I mean, might as well. The downstab would definitely be a huge quality of life for the boss of Palace 3, the Rubenak, but it's by no means required to defeat it.
Especially for a player of his skill. The high life level also will keep him going for a while in that fight. Even if the attack level isn't quite what we'd hope it would be for some of these higher HP bosses.
Well, there's the only right-facing dead end for Levelengine, so that's most of Palace 3 seen out here. Have to find another way to go right, and the boss is going to be in that direction. And yet,
Everyone's favorite room.
Required to get through Palace 3.
Ooh. Gets the refill, gets the life and magic refill. Oh, and there's another death.
Yeah, just a rough jump there for Levelengine.
Looking at the spell options, not a lot to work with.
If there's a safer way to get through. These lava pit rooms in 3 and 6 can be deceptively deadly. Seems like all you have to do is just make a few hops, but those enemies can really ruin your jumps a lot of the time.
Sure can. And you think of it like the one in level 6 that has the unicorns flying through. I tend to think of that as the slightly more dangerous one. But it's more often than not the smaller enemies that take me down. Yeah, more left.
Left is treasure, as they say. But we're looking for bosses.
It's a treasure.
Well, there's K-Rock the Toaster.
That's the first boss down for AmazingToaster. Levelengine going with the non-downstab strats to get through the block room and hopefully approach a boss fight. Oh, I'm sorry. It is second boss down, that's right, Horsehead is done. For some reason, on my page, the tracking is hanging off the edge just slightly. So second boss down, and going for no downstab. What's his face? Rubenak.
Yep. Levelengine playing it pretty safe early on here. Gets the moon jump. Doesn't look like that was intentional though. Gonna take a death, sadly. No, that's a game over. That's a game over for Levelengine.
Ouch. That hurts. It's that room, the lava pit room.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that could be a good opportunity for AmazingToaster to make up some of the time that unfortunately was lost to that lock.
Yeah, Toaster knows the hammer's in 5, but didn't head through Death Valley. I'm pretty sure I saw Toaster hit the statue at the palace here, so we should know that this one is 2. Yeah, just gonna go through it anyway, and probably hoping that the glove is here beside Palace 2 at this point.
I think that's probably the assumption.
Yeah.
Every single question mark on the tracker
Levelengine
is a
again
potential
getting
glove.
a rough death in that lava room. Those little slime enemies not being kind.
Now, there's a different strategy that's going to save him just a little time, prove effective, and he gets through, using Spell to take down the bigger, slower enemy that throws projectiles at you.
Yeah, nasty enemy, but it wasn't the Doom Knocker that was giving him the business. You know,
It's true.
There's a saying called "hoist by your own petard." That little blue slime could have been far worse. Well, a quick item room inside Palace 2 at the very least for Toaster. Sadly, it's not the glove. It is a useless flute.
The River Devil is
Toast is going
easily
to
passed.
just head right back in there and try to clear the dungeon out. And there's only one potential glove block inside Palace 2, so it's definitely not a bad play. The chances are usually pretty good if you make it to the boss in Palace 2.
Yeah, I think definitely the right play to pick up the item that's available to you there. There's the boss.
And we've just got a small raid from our sister channel, ZeldaSpeedRuns 2. Thanks for sending your folks over here. For those of you just joining us, I am Jack's Wedge on commentary. I am joined by Chromaticalism, and this is a Swiss round 3 race at Zelda 2 Randomizer between AmazingToaster on your left and Levelengine on your right.
And a very interesting race so far. The difference has been the acquisition of the hammer by Levelengine, which gave access to the glove. Having the glove made the remainder of the palaces traversable. So Levelengine is completely in go mode, just taking care of bosses and progressing toward the end. AmazingToaster, for his part, is trying to find items wherever he can, hoping that the glove turns up, while also progressing through battles.
Well, good for Toaster. The glove is not required to clear 2, so that's one less thing that he'll need to do. 2 is pretty quick, though, so you can't imagine it's going to take Levelengine too long whenever they get there to finish it up. Levelengine does have to get through Palace 3 here first, though, and has been having some trouble getting through this one so far.
Yeah, I think losing track of the location of Nido.
And the lava rooms. We've seen a game over and a half from Levelengine in this palace already. I think Levelengine has this fight, though. And yes, there it is.
No problem. We still have the potential for a comeback here, depending on what we see in some of the other palaces and how the gameplay progresses. Just in that level alone, I think we made up some time with those costly deaths and then ultimately a game over deep in level 3 for Levelengine.
On the boss, in fact, yeah. Well, it's hard to say. I mean, Toaster's still going to have to play through that Palace 3. That lava room was by no means free.
That's true, not to mention Palace 5 and finding the what sometimes feels like the needle in the haystack in the item there, but we did have a pretty early boss there if you're starting from the top and going right as we do.
You'll find it in the second room, actually. So, boss is very easy to get to. Item, not necessarily.
will be interesting to see. Oh, look at that.
Palace 6 there. And yeah, as we mentioned, Doom was just right there at the start, so quick boss fight here for Toaster. Still needs to get that hammer out of here, though.
Well, having taken the boss out of the way, that significantly narrows your routing choices generally, and shouldn't be too long before he finds that.
It's 2 that Levelengine was in. I don't know how I screwed that up. But quick hammer
Toaster in 5.
So that'll be gem number 5 for Levelengine. Toaster having a bit of a go with Goma here. One of the nastier bosses in this game for sure. Hitbox on that mace is a little bigger than it looks and tends to mess a lot of players up. So levels 5, 5, 7 for Levelengine now.
That should do the job for him.
Back over to Maze Island to get to work on Palace number 6. Toast clears Palace 5, but still needs to find that item. Toast thinking about the level up choice and elects to take life, so both of our racers at levels 5, 5, 7 for experience now.
Color scheme we haven't talked much about in these ones, but our level 6 here is looking a lot like that kind of blue-green that tealy blue-green that we get in level 1 of Zelda 1. Making me all nostalgic. A nice dark purple in our level 5.
Definitely some colors. They're not invasive colors though, I don't think.
And that's all you can hope for.
Pretty much. We'll see what the Great Palace looks like. That's the one where you like as clear of a background as possible for that Thunderbird fight. Those fireballs can get camouflaged very nastily in certain backgrounds.
Levelengine, still with no down stab, will in all likelihood have to face one of those Rebanaks, again without down stab.
Well, here's the good news for Toast. There's the hammer. Hammer leads to glove. Toast still behind, but not insurmountably so, I would say.
There are certainly some opportunities that could be gifted him, depending on decisions that Levelengine takes. If he has lost track of Mido, because I do remember he was looking around at towns, trying to figure out which one is this. It's possible he enters Great Palace without downstab and finds out that it's required. That could potentially
be an absolute disaster for Levelengine at this stage of the race. Well, there's Spectacle Rock for Toaster, so Toaster's got the glove now.
And is now in go mode.
A palace and change behind Levelengine now. Well, Levelengine just having no luck in these lava rooms in 3 and 6. Takes another fiery bath.
And down to 1 life here. Really gonna have to play it safe so that he doesn't get another game over and lose some of that time. I think he'll be fine with HP, but falling in would definitely hurt pretty bad right now.
Yeah. Levelengine playing with fire, those Medusas just all over the place on him. He's able to get through the room. Now we come to the dreaded Canadian hole.
Handled expertly with no jump spell. He's not, but we won't hold it against him.
Exactly.
I myself enjoy the benefit of dual citizenship, so I win either way.
Pretty sneaky.
Yeah.
And another Revenac fight without downstab. And another moon jump. That one looked a little more intentional, because Level was able to land in the correct spot and just start giving that iron knuckle the business. So that Revenac is down, as Levelengine continues to plow through Palace 6. AmazingToaster comes to the first lava room, the one in Palace 3, the one that gave Levelengine so much difficulty earlier. Doesn't look like Toaster's going to have much trouble there, and just gets right on through. Levelengine unfortunately finding the item inside Palace 6. Not the thing you're looking for. You want to clear it. You don't want the treasure. Not at this point.
3, 4, and 6, that's the risky run, because everything is to the right, and sometimes that item room is along a long corridor, and your choice has to be, is it worth it to walk all the way back in this case, or do I need to up an A? But maybe we're going to take a visit to Canada here. Looks like we are.
Could be the right way, eh?
Could be the right way.
And it certainly
Lovely
is.
this time of year.
There's Dagran.
Definitely the right choice.
Yeah, we've got Revenac for Toaster and Dagran for Levelengine. So exactly one palace of separation between the two right now. Toaster going to make much quicker work of this Revenac with that downstab.
And Levelengine should have Barba taken care of on this cycle.
Yeah, just got to be a little careful. On that killing blow, your momentum can take you into the lava, so always something... I think everyone's made that mistake at least once in their lives if they've played this random enough.
For sure.
Yeah, we've got a virtually in-sync gem placement here. So Levelengine will be off to the Great Palace, whereas AmazingToaster needs to head to 6 and defeat Barba first. Both players taking Magic 6, so we've got identical experience levels of 5, 6, 7.
Very easy to see the difference in pace when you're placing the gem at the same time. AmazingToaster has exactly 1 palace worth of ground to make up, and we'll see if he elects to take any risks in the routing of Great Palace, and if Levelengine has to lose a significant amount of time either figuring out where to acquire downstab or deciding to go without.
Well, going right in without downstab. It's a gutsy play. There are a couple of rooms in Great Palace where downstab can be required. However, it's a very massive palace with lots of dead ends, so it's never too bad to try to get through Great Palace without up or downstab.
I think the odds
it'd be
are
foolish
in
to
his
try to do
favor.
without the glove. But well, we've got Thunderbird right away whenever you head to the right. So right into Thunderbird already is Levelengine. Background, a little unfriendly. Those fireballs, a little tough to spot against those pink bricks. if you ask me.
Absolutely. You see the motion more than you see the object. Resetting
Now-
the pendulum a little.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. That boss can move around in some weird ways, I tell ya. Pretty good so far. Oh, Levelengine's caught in a bad spot, but somehow gets out of it there.
Fantastic moves.
Just has to hang on a little longer. Oh, survived that hit. I thought that was it. Thunderbird has 1 bar of life left. Swing and a miss. Come on, Level, you can do it. He's got it.
Shield spell.
Thunderbird. Now the
Making
question
all the
is,
difference.
how long is this Great Palace going to be? Potentially any room where you exit to the right could be Dark Link at this point. Well, already we have a junction room with an elevator going up and down, so there's at least some decision-making left in this Great Palace.
Here's the first one. Pick up the... Oh! Deciding against the fairy.
Well, Toast, previous exploration of Palace 6 has paid off, because he's found the boss pretty darn quickly here. This is going to end up being a lot closer than it looked like early on, I think.
Fantastic race brewing, and at this point, when you're noticing the difference in time between the two, you can't help but think about that unfortunate soft lock that set him back several minutes. But still, very tight race, and I'm really hoping that it becomes even tighter and we can see some really excellent competition here.
I definitely think so. There's still a good amount of race left in here. Great Palace has given our players some options in terms of where to go. The Great Equalizer. Nothing is decided yet. Toast just has to get there and hop in, take care of Thunderbird, and, well, it could be anyone's game at that point.
Really close to a level, and AmazingToaster is gonna try and take it here. Gets the additional sword level, so that could make things a little quicker and be a small factor in equalizing.
Well, it'll save 7 hits on Thunderbird, so it's not insignificant. It's not going to make up the deficit entirely by itself, but it certainly helps.
I can't believe we're both in here at the same time. This is incredible.
This is good stuff.
I really did not expect to see this. This is so wonderful.
Yeah, Levelengine just deciding where to go now. There's been so many junctions in this Great Palace. Now at this point, if you're Toaster, you've probably been looking at the race room for the last little while, expecting to see a done or something, especially after a soft lock, right? So
You gotta think so.
If you're fighting Thunderbird after something like that, and you see that the other racer isn't done, like, how do you play Great Palace? Do you assume that you were way far behind and start to take non-quote-unquote meta choices in terms of routing? Or do you play it straight and just, hope for the best?
It's possible. There is something to the argument of you make the right play every time, or I guess the one that gives you the best percentage chance every time, regardless of whether or not it actually works every time.
Oh my,
and you give yourself
Levelengine
the best
loops back
chances.
into the fairy room, going up into the
Oh, wow.
Jackman's room.
Oh, that's what that room's
Jackman's
called.
room. Toast is heading right in the Jackamus room. There's about 15 seconds between these two right now.
Oh my god.
They're in the same room.
Levelengine does have the benefit of a little more exploration under his belt.
Got a bit of a difference here. Toaster's going to go back and head up the elevator. Levelengine went down the elevator at the end of the previous room. Toast is now heading towards the left. Not necessarily a bad thing when we haven't seen any of the drops yet. But no, unfortunately, it's going to be Levelengine. This is the Dark Link room. Levelengine, however, had a sliver of life and no magic here. Even with the exploit, Dark Link can still sneak in there and hit you.
Playing it safe with the crouch stab technique.
Definitely the right call
About as safe of a method as you can get.
Well, Toast finds a dead end, so Toast is turning around. Toast is going to be in there too. Levelengine takes a death.
Wow. Unlikely to take a second.
Oh wow. they're pretty close right now. Level should still be all right here. Darkly half down, hasn't taken any hits yet.
Well, we saw one Darkly jump, but it wasn't in his direction, so there it is.
There it is. Levelengine's gonna hang on and take the victory.
Oof,
His
got
lead
chills.
evaporated quite a bit towards the
Good
end. A
lord.
heroic push by AmazingToaster just unfortunately comes a little bit short.
So in an incredibly well-fought, well-played race from both runners, Levelengine is the winner, will continue on to 3-0, and therefore the bracket stage. AmazingToaster going to have to find another win somewhere else. I doubt he'll have too much trouble doing that. Very solid and experienced player. Obviously, showing the skill to be able to pull off a huge win, but having some really unfortunate obstacles along the way. Right, and are we, do we have Levelengine in here? Not quite yet.
I don't think so. I think we are joined by
Oh, we have
AmazingToaster, though.
AmazingToaster.
Hey.
Welcome. Oh my gosh, what a race.
That soft
So
lock
close.
cost me. That soft lock cost me the race.
Ah, it's so hard to have that happen and to mount the kind of comeback you did, because it really was. We just assumed there was all this space in between you because of differences in the routing, but you went so efficiently through level 6, and once you had the glove, and made up time in Great Palace too.
I'm probably very fortunate. It's probably very fortunate that I missed the jump over the Canadian hole and fell in.
It did actually save you a little time. Yeah. Wow. Really sorry that happened to you, because it is a thing that can happen. It can happen to anybody. Just
I should have saved after I picked up the raft too, because I had to go back and re-grab that. I didn't realize I hadn't saved there.
Well, I suppose in some small way, lessons learned for all of us, really. Haven't seeing that
I've gotten that soft lock before, so that's not a new soft lock to me, at least.
Yeah,
It's not a common one for sure.
Yeah,
because there were a few of our viewers and one of our co-commentators that had never seen that before. It's a rare one, but it can happen.
Yeah, it's happened to me, I think once, or I think it's just once before. And that time, I know that one I had saved just before that one. So, yeah, I was trying to swing at the Moa, and I talked the sign, and he hit me, and I died, and there's no coming back from that.
Okay, so what did I miss?
Oh, I soft lock an old Kasuto.
Old Kasuto?
Yeah.
You read the sign by accident at the same moment you died in that soft
Yeah,
lock?
I was trying to swing at the Moa after coming out getting fairy, and the Moa hit me and killed me.
Oh, that sound was good. I've heard of that one before.
It's not the first time I've done it.
Well, it was
I'm
definitely.
gonna talk to you.
I think Jay Coper had it estimated around 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's probably about right.
So did you actually save after you got the raft or something?
I saved before I went into Death Mountain to get the raft, and I didn't save after, and I went to New Kasuto and soft lock, so I'd go pick the raft up again.
Which you at least knew where it was, so that would take less time to pick it up second time around.
Yeah, it was like, it's probably 3 minutes to get back there.
And I was wondering where the downstab was, because I could not remember the location of Mito, but I remember the location of every other town.
Yeah, we saw you looking for that, and
So in the end, I just decided
fortunately,
to go
downstab
forward
was
without the
not
downstab.
required, but it definitely made things a lot trickier for you, Levelengine.
I just had to hope that the downstab wasn't required, or I was losing this one.
Yeah, yeah, you had a lot of difficulty, especially in Palace 3 in that lava room.
That was unfortunate. The same version of that room in 6 also gave me somehow.
I think the thing that at least I didn't
Well, near
anticipate
identical.
going into those rooms is with no jump spell as an option, with no down stab as an option, the strategies change drastically with how you're going to deal with even the smaller enemies in those rooms.
Fairy's never an
Sudden
option in
movement.
those rooms either, because you have to break
Fairy's
them off on
not.
the other side.
Yeah. Well, it really was an absolutely incredible race. Even with the unfortunate soft lock there, Levelengine punches the dun just as AmazingToaster is entering the Dark Link fight. There was a loop in that Great Palace that AmazingToaster was able to avoid, and you guys almost caught up and were in the battle at almost the same time. It was so exciting to watch, and everybody in chat was behind you, and man, just a pleasure to be a part of. So
I'm gonna have to rewatch
congratulations.
this one.
Yeah. It was it was really great. So, with that, Levelengine, you're through to the bracket round.
Guaranteed at this point.
Start looking to that. AmazingToaster, you got one more to take care of and a couple more chances to do it.
Yep.
2 more chances, so I'd say he has good odds.
I would say so. What's the plan? What's next for you? Is he with us still?
Me or Level?
Yeah. What's next for you?
See who I get next and try and beat them.
Sounds about right. Cool. Any more thoughts from either of our runners? I think that about. Sorry?
Thinking takes too much brain meats after a race of these. I can relate.
Yeah.
You're damn right it does. Well, great race to the both of you. Thanks to MyCocom, Jackamus. Pleasure interacting with you tonight, sir.
The pleasure
Thanks
was all
to-
yours, sir.
It sure was. Well done. Thanks to Lights doing tracking. And think that about does it for us here.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, there's another race happening tonight in about a half hour's time. So stick around.
Z2, right?
Coming up.
Yep, be Shaddy versus Paratroopa coming up at 11 o'clock.
I'm gonna go see if their wins losses out of curiosity. Just want to double check to see where they were at.
GG, both Toaster and Levelengine. Well done. My thanks as well to Light on tracking and both Jackamus and Chrome for hopping in on Chroma for hopping in on comms the last second. Thank you both. As mentioned, please stick around for Shaddy and Paratroopa coming up here soon. We'll go see what else is out there on Twitch for a little bit, but come on back in about 25 minutes.
I might do that.
Until then, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We will see you all again soon.
Let's
Have a good
go,
night.
Blue Jays.
Boo, 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 boo.